Hello everyone, welcome back to Agent Nagash, which channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. So first I wanted to say is apologies that there wasn't a video yesterday. However, I have actually recently got a very painful throat, and I was hoping that, I'll give it a rest yesterday and then today I'll wake up and it'll be a lot better. However, it is just the same as bad. But as there is many Flesh Eater Courts units to review, and I don't really want to spend eternity doing it, as I would quite like to move on to the Skaven and then the Free People and so on. I thought, why not do a quick video today, and what will fit in naturally. So what we're going to look at today is going to be the Crypt Ghast Courtier, which is basically the courtier for your Crypt Ghouls. This video is going to be quite quicker than normal ones, like I say, because I don't want to talk for too long. I wanted to get a video out to you guys, thought it would be nice to do. Right, okay, so firstly, we're only going to look at a little bit for its lore, but what it says is, Hissling captains of Morlant's Crypt Ghast Courtiers move among the pale ranks of the king's army. To direct cannibal formations, they drive more ghouls into the fray while seeking out gruesome trophies to dispose upon their men. Okay, so basically, they are the captains of your men-at-arms. These guys are... Each one will lead a sort of, regiment of infantry into battle. That sort of flavour we've got for them. Okay, so then going into their what they're like in the game. So firstly, we're going to look at their profile. So what we've got is, of course, they are a leader. They're going to be the cheapest leader, hero for your Flesh Eater Courts, because they're only going to cost you 60 points. So 60 points. What are you getting for that? So that's what we're going to look into now. So looking at the War Scroll, the description says a Crypt Ghast Courtier is a single model armed with a bone club and filthy claws. Its wield stat has a 6-inch movement, a 5+ save, a bravery 10 and 4 wounds. So first we're going to say for Flesh Eater Courts, and this guy only costing 60 points, 5 up save is good, bravery 10 good, wounds 4, yeah, it's nice if it's 5, but only 60 point guys, so you can't really complain, and a 6-inch movement, which is good, and it's the same as the Crypt Ghouls, of course. Right, and then going on to its melee weapons, we've got the Bone Club. So this is a 1-inch range, 3 attacks, 3 to hit, 3 to wound, no rend, 1 damage. And the next one is Filthy Claws, which is 1-inch range, 2 attacks, 4 to hit, 3 to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. Okay, so the attack's not awful, but nothing to write home about. So then going on to the abilities, and this is where you're really going to want to take the guy. And of course, it goes without saying, as this is the Crypt Ghoul hero, you're only going to really want to take this guy if you're taking Crypt Ghouls in your army. If you're not taking Crypt Ghouls in your army, and there's no reason why you need to have an extra really cheap hero in your army, I would save the points for something else. Even just keep the points, 60 points left over for a command point, something along those lines. However, if you have got a lot of ghouls in your army, you definitely want this guy. And this is why we're going to go into the abilities now. So the Muster of Serfs is going to be his most important ability. And what it says is, in your hero phase, roll 6 dice for each friendly Crypt Ghast Courtier on the battlefield. For each roll of a 2+, you can return 1 slain model to a friendly Serfs unit that is within 10 inches of the Crypt Ghast Courtier. Slain models can be returned to more than 1 unit if you wish, but each successful dice roll can only be used to return a model to a single unit. Okay, so firstly, Serfs is the keyword for the Crypt Ghouls. So if you see anywhere saying Serfs, it means Crypt Ghouls, exactly. So what this guy does is basically, in the hero phase, he rolls 6 dice, and for every 2 up you get, you can add a Crypt Ghoul to a unit within 10 inches of him if that unit has taken casualties, essentially. Let's say you've got a unit of 10 ghouls and a unit of 20. Let's say the unit of 10 ghouls has lost 4 ghouls, so it's now only a unit of 6, and the unit of 20 has lost 2 ghouls, so it's now a unit of 18. This guy rolls 6 dice, and then he can go, right, okay, let's say I get 5 2s. Right, I'm going to put 2 ghouls into the unit of 18 to bring them back up to a unit of 20, and then I'm going to put the other 3 ghouls into the other unit. Now, what this means is that you can return slain models to those units, but you can't go over the limit of the size of the unit of when you started the game. That is the one restriction on this, really. That's, as long as you play within those rules, because if you play without those rules, then you're not playing to the rules and you're cheating your opponent, essentially, if they're not aware of it. However, it is still very good, and this is something we're going to see when I talk about the rest of the Flesh Eater Courts. This is very important for Flesh Eater Courts. Bring back these models. If you already play Flesh Eater Courts and you know a bit about them, you already know this. But if you're new to the army, this whole muster, well, this one's called Muster of Serfs, but we have ones like Muster Knights and all that sort of thing, I imagine it's called, which allows you to bring back flayers and horrors, and that is really the core of the army. The regeneration mechanic is massive. So if you're taking ghouls, now you're not taking any courtiers to bring them back. Of course you can take the Vargolf, but let's just talk about the Crypt Ghast. You're not taking any courtiers to bring back the ghouls. You're doing it wrong, essentially. Otherwise you're just wasting that main part of Flesh Eater Courts, which is the regeneration ability. Okay, and then going on to the next ability, which is Trophy Hunters. So it says, if any enemy models are slain by wounds inflicted by this model, attacks until the end of the phase in which the attacks were made, add 1 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons used by friendly serfs units while they are wholly within 16 inches of this model. Okay, so now firstly, wholly within 16 inches did have this ability before, but I don't believe it was wholly. So obviously that does make a big difference, as you're going to really sort of only target 1 unit of ghouls, maybe, unless you've got really sort of compact, space enough for units. Also, the only negative other point I have for this ability is that means that this guy is going to have to attack before the ghoul unit for you to give the ghoul unit the extra attacks. Now, it depends on the situation you're in. However, most of the time you're going to want to attack with the ghouls first because they have a higher damage output, and depending on what enemy unit they're attacking, you might desperately want the ghouls to attack first, just because the enemy unit they could be attacking could be very nasty, and potentially even more nasty than the ghouls, and do insane amounts of damage to them. So it won't matter about that extra attack you'll give them via the Crypt Ghast Courtier. And the one time I attacked with the Crypt Ghast Courtier first, have done it once, he didn't kill enemy models, and he was up against models with a wound characteristic of 1 and a save of 6. So yes, that was annoying. But if you are in a situation where you can afford for the Crypt Ghast Courtier to attack the enemy before the ghouls, let's say as an example your ghouls, let's say it's not your combat phase, your ghouls got charged by the enemy. The enemy, yeah, sure, it's done some damage to them, all that sort of thing. You don't really have anything else to attack with apart from the ghouls and the courtier that happens to be in range of the enemy. You might as well attack with the courtier, because your ghouls are no longer in threat of taking damage, because essentially they already have taken the damage. It's not going to get any worse for them unless the enemy can partly attack twice, which if you're playing against Flesh Eater Court army and a few other armies that can do it, just bear that in mind. But in most cases your Crypt Ghouls aren't going to take any more damage, so you might as well attack with the courtier to give your Crypt Ghouls an extra attack. Especially if your Crypt Ghouls did start with a unit of 20 or more, but now they're under that, so they're losing the extra attack they gain naturally. There's a way to make up for it here. The other thing I will say is you do not really want to get this Crypt Ghast into combat. So that is the other thing about this, is because he's only got a 5-up save and 4 wounds, and he does a lot more to your army by bringing back your ghouls and essentially sacrificing himself, because he will not survive in combat for long. Right, and then looking at his keywords, we've got Death, Mordant, Flesh Eater Courts, Courtier, Hero, Crypt Ghast Courtier. Okay, so sort of standard there. So that's really it for the Crypt Ghast Courtier. Like I say, you're taking a lot of ghouls, you want to definitely run this guy. If you're taking a few ghouls in your army, I don't know, let's say you've gone heavy on Crypt Horrors or heavy on Crypt Flares, but not super heavy. You've just got, I don't know, a couple unit of 6 Crypt Horrors. Let's say you've got, 12 6 Horrors in your army, 2 units of 6, but you want, just want like a cheap other like battle line unit just to put in there, just a unit of 10 ghouls. If that is the case where you've only got 10 ghouls in your army, I wouldn't put a Crypt Ghast in there. It's only for things like Ghoul Patrol and armies that are mainly based around the Horde being the Crypt Ghouls in your army. Otherwise, the Vargolf is just like the Jack of all trades in that solution. But yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Apologies if I sound a little bit different and stuff, because my throat is, like I say, is kidding. However, I wanted to get a video out to you guys so that the Flesh Eater Courts, we won't be stuck in the limbo of the Flesh Eater Courts for ages. I do very much enjoy talking about the Flesh Eater Courts, but there's also lots of other armies I want to talk about, of course. And at the moment, Games Workshop seems to be updating armies quicker than I can keep up with for the Army Archive. I smashed out loads of Army Archive videos. However, when you're reviewing an army that has a full battle tome and an army that you really love, it does take a little bit longer. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please like, subscribe and comment down below, as that all does massively help me, and it's all for free. However, if you would like to support the channel just that little bit further, I do also now have a Patreon account I've literally just set up a few days ago. It's a great place to support the channel. All the money from the Patreon goes back into the channel. Even if it's like $1, massively makes a difference. Means I can start saving up for things like a camera, what would be awesome, so I could do things like hobby and chats with you, and like army, you know, like blogs and all that sort of thing, how I'm going on my personal hobby. And it'll be really, really cool to be able to sort of like show you like me, like, you know, hobby and building models, converting, whatever, those sort of things, even like painting up flesh courts or whatever I'm working on, and have a chat going and be able to talk to you guys and answer your questions and ask you guys what you building on. Would be something really, really cool. And a camera could also mean I could do things like unboxings and stuff, which I know are very popular. Also means I could basically just feel like go at that next level further for the channel, essentially. And I'd also use it to get a better mic, buy better sounds for the channel, and really, really keep me motivated, essentially. So if you could please check that out, there'll be a link to it in the description below. I would be massively appreciative, and I can't thank you enough. On that subject, I also want to give a shout out to my patrons I have already supporting the channel and doing a fantastic job. And you know, if it wasn't for them, it would make this content a lot harder to produce for you guys. So firstly, I want to thank my Necromancer supporters, which are basically the first tier, you know, your first step on the Age of Nagash. And these are the guys that donate at least $1 a month, which really, really, really does help, believe me. And then who I want to actually name out in person, who support on the Vampire tier, which is the second tier. And firstly, we have Max. Max, thank you again very much for your support. Absolutely does make a difference to the channel, and I'm very much looking forward to building up the money to be able to start buying some more equipment. And on the same lines, I would also like to thank my second vampire, which is Carl Manson, who does, again, like a great job, guys. I mean, especially this $5 a month. I know it does add up to quite a bit, so I really do appreciate that. But every time it adds up, it's adding up to me being able to invest into the channel and essentially just be able to provide you guys with better content and things you'd really like to see. So massive thank you there. And then we also have a newly vampire, which is Simon. And Simon, great support from you, fantastic. I noticed that you were first, I believe, a necromancer in the upgrade to vampire, so a massive you know, appreciation for that. It's huge. And rest assured that all of your money will be going towards a new things for the channel. I think it will either be a mic or a camera, will be probably one of the first two things I'll be getting for the channel. Because like I say, a camera just gives me more options. It just means that I can you know, like I say, do unboxings. It means I can also do hobby and chats and stuff, what I'd really like to do. So basically, I think I've already explained on my channel how at the moment at work and in the future, because of Brexit, I'm not going to have a lot of time at all to do videos, I'll be honest. So all this money has helped motivate me, but also with the camera, what it would mean is that I very much care about my own hobby and all that sort of thing. It can take a bit of a sacrifice, but I do like to, you know, make my own models and all those sort of things and paint and all that stuff. So if I can do that, my own hobby, whilst I interact with you guys and provide you guys content, it would be a perfect way to make best use of my time, which would be nice to do like once a week or something on a day a week, do like a hobby and chat where I can interact with you guys, see what you guys are working on, answer your questions. Would be absolutely awesome. And if you are interested in something along those lines, please let me know down below. Okay guys, so again, I thank you very much for watching this. If you have enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and comment down below. That all has massively helped me. It's completely free. If you want to take a step further, please look at my Patreon. Be a massive great deal to me, and truly believe me on that. Right, so my throat is absolutely killing now. Apologies if I sound a bit different in this video, but like I said, I just wanted to get out to you guys. And with that, we've also completed like the sort of the ghoul section of the flesh courts, which is quite nice. And we'll be moving on to probably the crypt horrors next, so that'll be interesting to see. Right, so I thank you all very much for watching this, and remember, until next time, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.